Okay, man, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Now, come on, now crank this motherfucker up.
Break it down like this.
Hello, Internet. Gino, that Pinguino Grieco here again with another episode of Deep Listens. And today, we are discussing Fortnite, a game that you've probably heard about from your small cousin, perhaps a child. Maybe you've been driving in like a prominent area where they have some sort of signage. Maybe you've gone on Twitch at all, ever. Well, we played that game, finally. You know, I'm excited. You know, this show, we shine a light on little games, forgotten gems sometimes, and I'm glad we're finally giving Fortnite the attention it deserves. You know, I feel like this game's been struggling for a long time. I'm glad we can finally give it some ups. And joining me to discuss Fortnite, M's a mean person. Joining me to discuss Fortnite is Pete Busby. Hello, Pete.
Hey, how's it going? Like Gino said, I'm excited to finally play a game that I've been not playing since it became the most popular game in the world, and I feel like I made the right decision. But I'm not as angry at M because I guess at least it was interesting. But fun fact for this week, I was only able to fact check half of it, but it's a horrible fact that I know, so now you need to know it too, so I'm going to give it to you anyway. So I apologize if the second half is wrong. Here it is. So, the average human erection has roughly 130 milliliters of blood in it. That's the part I fact checked. That is true. While the average rabbit has about 126 milliliters of blood in its entire body. So there is more blood in an average human erection than there is in the average rabbit.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Always.
you all know that.
Always a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
These fun facts. Always fun.
What?
Yep. Yep. I heard it too, and I had the same reaction, and now you know it too. So
Okay, you heard the...
public service complete.
Okay. Well, thanks, Pete.
Yep. No problem.
This
Thanks.
might be one of our more listened to episodes because of the subject matter, and it's good that we're starting off on the right foot with it.
Now you know what Deep Listens is about. Welcome to the podcast.
So that other voice you heard is the lovely voice of M. Palladino. Hello, M. It's your fault we
Hello.
played this game.
It is my fault. You know, I looked at the numbers and I thought that maybe we should be, reaching out to some of the younger generation, the much younger generation. And what's more popular than Fortnite? Maybe Minecraft. We'll think about Minecraft for one of these. But also I wanted to do something that would torture my co-hosts because I got snubbed in the Game of the Year podcast. So this is the first of 9 games.
9?
9.
This is the whole year.
This is the entire year. I did the math. And it's going to be a wild ride the whole way through. So I got to narrow it down a little bit, but we're starting off strong.
I just want to throw out there, just the reason I did that was because the alternative was me breaking the tie undemocratically. And instead, I found consensus in our Game of the Year show. I said, what if instead we find a game we can all agree on, or at least a majority can agree on?
Consensus is dead, you know.
Well, you got your consensus, and now you're going to get Fortnite and 8 other games.
Fortnite and 8 other... That's a whole year of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I'm hearing is this is Gino's fault, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
So
This
watch
is a real
out.
why are you hitting yourself situation.
All I'm saying is you guys have to pick some bangers for your games, because it's going to be not that much every 6 weeks.
Every 3 weeks, every 3
Yeah.
podcasts will be a bummer. Well, okay, I've got to raise the quality of mine. Well, at least mine will probably have a higher chance of winning a goatee then, in that case. All right, well, thanks, Pete, for disturbing us all early on, letting
welcome.
people know what we're about. Thank you to M for revealing that there's more spite. This wasn't just a one-time thing. And thank you to our listeners. This is the part of the show where I do the plugs. So, reminder, you can get in touch with the show at DeepListensPod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections, and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. That's where you can send emails to the show. And you can also support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens, which would get you access to our Discord, where you can talk to other lovely patrons. We have several new ones in the recent weeks. So thank you, everyone who's signing up. I feel I should clarify something. Although $1 is the minimum, it is not the only amount you're allowed to give. So if you are so inclined or have the ability, you could put 2. 2 is that's what a frisky number that one is. 2, 3, wow. Trinity, a lot of religions care about the number 3. There's a lot of stuff. 7, that's a lucky number. Do what you will. But if you were to support the show, like I said, you'd get access to our Discord, and if you did that, you could be on the Discord report.
The Discord report. Boop, doop, 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 doop. This week on the Discord report, did you guys hear that Sony bought Bungie?
I did.
I
So
did not. Checks out, though.
there were 2 big pieces of news that broke. Well, 3 big pieces of news that broke recently. We didn't get to discuss. Sony bought Bungie. Microsoft bought Activision. And the Italian Senate saw some stuff that shouldn't be seen. Saw Tifa Lockhart in disrobe.
Yes. Starting with the most important one first.
Okay.
What did you think of that Tifa clip that was played to the Italian Senate?
So I have now. First off, I have not seen the clip.
Mm-hmm.
To save my immortal soul.
You gotta do your own research, Gino.
That's fair. That's fair. I did not see the clip, but I will say, and I've been asked, like, as a representative of Italy, whether this is normal, and I don't like that. But I will say, the Italian government is weird. I believe there was an adult film actress just kind of in the Senate as a senator. Berlusconi, the previous president or prime minister of Italy, had a sex scandal, was basically voted out in disgrace, and then was elected again after the sex scandal. So, like, Italy is it's a weird country in a lot of ways, and this is fitting.
It should be specified. They did not play this just because they got hacked on a Zoom call. Or I believe it was one of those things where someone could call in and, like, ask them questions.
Yes.
And then they decided instead to play some very well animated 3D
action.
Fucking.
Hot action.
Yes. Yeah.
It is very good. Whoever, like, did the video, kudos, like, for your technical skills, not what you've chosen to use them for.
Yes.
Using them for evil. So then the 2 lesser pieces of news. Today we have breaking news today, and then we have the less breaking news, but maybe more consequential. What do we want to go first, Bungie or Activision?
I feel like the Bungie thing is a little less fraught than the Activision thing.
Kind of a bummer all around.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Bungie thing, Bungie, former makers of Halo, now they make Destiny, and from what I can tell, only Destiny. So Sony bought them. I mean, you're buying a studio with a successful, pretty large game. It's a game that does not interest me very much, and they seem to be leaving them as a, like, third-party they're gonna keep letting them publish on multi-platform. So I don't think it even changes the scale of the industry all that much. It's some consolidation, which we don't like to see, but I don't know that it changes the overall experience for people who play games that much. Maybe now Destiny will be on PS Plus, but I don't see much else.
I mean, it's already free, isn't it?
Destiny?
Isn't it? Destiny 2, I believe, is free.
Is it? I don't. I've never thought about playing Destiny. So.
Destiny free to play? Destiny 2 is a free-to-play, online-only, multiplayer, first-person shooter video game.
It's free to play now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this seems kind of like, I mean, we'll discuss it with Activision, but it seems like the kind of thing where, you paid money to get your, big publishing studio in this game, but actually it's the Candy Crush money that pays for everything. It's the free-to-play stuff that might bring in all the money.
Yep.
So now moving over to Activision, I don't think we did not discuss this already, correct, on the show?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So Activision was purchased by Microsoft, I think, a week or two ago now. Pete, did you play any of the Activision games?
I can't remember. What are some of their most famous?
The Call of Duty.
Yes. Well, I played Modern Warfare 1 and 2.
Overwatch.
No.
We played it for this show, but not. Other than
No.
that.
Yeah, no. Setting aside games we played for the show.
StarCraft 2.
Nope.
StarCraft. World of Warcraft.
Nope.
Any of the Crash games?
Crash Bandicoot.
Any of the Tony Hawk games?
Yeah, I played the old, how far back can we go?
They
I
own
played
the
a lot
rights
of-
to all of it.
Okay, yeah, I played Thug 1, Thug 2, Underground, various Tony Hawks.
But now that you said this, I just wish that they only owned Tony Hawk Ride.
There's a lot of games.
Yeah,
They've been making games since the 80s, so, probably played at least one.
I see.
They own a lot of intellectual property, although the company has been dogged by scandal recently. They haven't put out a lot of games recently, and also their CEO seems to be a monster, and
He's terrible.
Bobby Kotick does not seem to be a nice man. Their upper management seems to be all like Bush cronies who have somehow ended up in the game industry through Bobby Kotick. They've had sexual harassment scandals recently. There was big talk of unionizing their entire workforce. So they were a distressed asset, and Microsoft came in and said, hey, what if we added this all to Xbox Plus, or what's the Xbox? Game Pass. Let's scoop this up and add it to Game Pass. And also, let's get that Crash Bandicoot license so that Sony can't have it.
Notably, their Wikipedia page has been scrubbed of all scandal mentions.
Oh,
Weird.
that's good.
That's a little strange. It's fine. We'll tell you about it.
I want to hear from the intern whose job it is to constantly be bailing water on that Wikipedia page. Because there's no way it just stops,
No, yeah, nobody's going to look at that and be like, okay, that's probably the official history. Right?
Oh, yeah, it seems fine.
Wow,
It doesn't say anything.
Well,
It
I guess
says
we were
that
wrong about those scandals.
Bobby Kotick adopted little orphan Annie. That's weird.
Mhm.
Okay, if he likes orphans.
And
The problem is when it goes year by year, and then all of a sudden it's 2009 to present.
nothing happened.
Seems like a big gap.
He stands to make all the money off this
Yes.
Microsoft deal too.
Oh,
Not all of it. It's a huge deal, but a lot of it.
Yeah, his parachute will be golden.
Yes.
It's going to be fully funded. But hopefully he will be let go after the transition, which, I guess you got to count the small blessings in something like this to a certain extent. He was always going to get paid out. He was always going to rob the coffers on the way out. Now at least maybe the studios will work for a better company, though Microsoft doesn't have a great track record of buying studios and letting them do their thing. It tends to go bad for them.
Weird.
Rare, blink twice if you can hear me. Banjo-Kazooie, they own that license.
They own the Banjo-Kazooie license?
Yeah,
Why aren't they making more Banjo-Kazooie games?
They made Nuts and Bolts. Fuck, I should pick Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts this year. That's for later. Don't tempt me.
Put it on the list.
Put it on the list. So yeah, those mergers, they're probably a bummer that the industry is consolidating to this degree, although in the near to middle term, you'll probably get more games for free on your subscription platforms if you're already subscribed to things. So it'll probably feel nice in the beginning, but then before long you'll realize the knife is hitting your liver and it's dangerous now. All right, so it's now time for my obsession of the week, and my obsession of the week this week is, I think, a great one. Have you, Pete? I know you have, because we discussed this during my Legend of Legaia streams. Oh, that's also a thing I should plug. I stream Legend of Legaia now on weekends. I have a stream. It's called Legend of Legaia is a game that only I remember, and every week I have a guest on. I've had both of you on now, and I just play Legend of Legaia for an hour or two and try to explain what the hell it is. And now, more and more of the episodes now are just me trying to explain what the hell's going on in the plot. But that's fine.
It is pretty chaotic.
It is. But my obsession of the week is Peacemaker, HBO's Peacemaker.
Sure.
Perhaps you've heard of it. Em, are you familiar with Peacemaker?
No, I am not.
Okay. Did you see
What is it?
Suicide Squad? The new one. The new one. The James Gunn one.
No, I did not see it.
Okay.
Although I know it exists.
Peacemaker is a character from the DC universe that his deal is, well, in the comics, his deal was like he was an anti-war activist and then was driven mad, and then his tagline is, he loves peace so much he'll kill for it. So in this one, John Cena plays Peacemaker, and he says, I love peace so much, I'll kill any man, woman, and child standing between me and peace, or something like that.
Okay.
So his character gets wounded at the end of Suicide Squad, and it seems like he is dead, but wouldn't you know it, he survived, and now he's getting an HBO Max show that is directed by James Gunn and is outstanding. It's very good. It's the best show I'm watching right now.
Wow.
By a lot. It's a very fun show. Okay. It's a mark of a good show when you never skip the intro, even though it's the same intro every time.
It is an excellent. It's like if you took Game of Thrones and changed everything about it, but kept the same level of quality.
Yes. If you gave the budget of Game of Thrones to someone who actually knew how to make a fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
And have a good
intro
time.
wise.
Yes.
I see.
Just in terms of the intro sequence.
Yes. But also, I think, like, I'm excited to see HBO giving money to a show, and I know that this is somewhat Warner, somewhat DC. Like, I'm just excited to see
Marvel. No, DC, you're right. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, like, a big budget go at something that isn't a dark, cynical... I mean, it is a dark show, and it has some cynicism to it, but it's a fun show. I'm glad that, you know, if Secession is just people knifing each other for 2 hours or an hour, this is people do knife each other, but it's dumb and fun. It's an 80s rock album if it was a show, and almost the entire soundtrack is 80s rock albums. So I definitely recommend it. They do a really good job of contextualizing the character, and like all great James Gunn, like one of the nice things about him working on Guardians of the Galaxy was that he got to play around with characters no one gave a shit about. And then he made people give a shit about them. This is the same thing. He gets to work with characters that just have no one loves Judo Master. No one cares about Vigilante or Peacemaker. And so you get to have fun with them. So yeah, check it out if you can. I know HBO Max is, you know, it's yet another subscription service. But if you have it, do give it a try. I was not sure what to make of it at first when it was announced. And now that I've seen 5 episodes, it's very, very good. All right, now without further ado, let's discuss Fortnite. Speaking of brands, I should have transitioned that way. Speaking of brands, we'll edit it so that I transition super smooth. Speaking of brands,
I'm not going to edit that.
Damn it.
Speaking of brands.
You know.
Oh yeah, also we're live. We're recording this live now. to Twitch.
Yes.
So if you want to go to twitch.tv/thatpinguino, sometimes there'll be live shows, probably Sunday or Monday nights. All right.
Speaking of brands,
Fortnite.
Fortnite. So I picked this game. I will describe it. Fortnite is probably the biggest game in the world, bar like Minecraft, I would say. Developed by Epic Games for about 6 years, and then it released in 2017, which sounds way too late for how popular it became. I'm sure, some people have been playing it since the beginning, when it was a cooperative, the name Fortnite comes from you have to survive 40 nights against zombies. So originally it was player versus enemy. It wasn't the battle royale we know now. It was the save the world game. And then at a certain point, Epic decided that they wanted to sort of ride on the coattails of big battle royales like PUBG. And so they made a battle royale mode for Fortnite, which was their free introduction into the game. It was to get people to play their weird city builder thing. And then that exploded and became a game where you can play as, hold on, I have a whole list here. Where is it? What do Boba Fett, Deadpool, Batman, Cammy and Chun-Li from Street Fighter, Jinx and Vi, both Hawkeyes, a sentient ear of corn, the Ghostbusters, Daryl Dixon, the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, the Stonks Meme Man, Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren from Star Wars, Frankenstein's monster, Ariana Grande, Rick Sanchez, Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, Jill Valentine, John Wick, Naruto, Kelsier, Kratos, Krampus, Lara Croft, LeBron James, Major Lazer, Master Chief, Ninja, Paul Atreides from Dune, Predator, Psycho Bandit from Borderlands, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Sarah Connor, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Thanos, Doctor Doom, The Rock, The Mummy, The Joker, and a pug in a hoodie all have in common.
They are all 6 feet tall, apparently, now.
Yeah,
they're all the same height.
Skins in Fortnite. Just to give you a sense of the scope that it now encompasses, which is, God, a lot of properties.
My God, that is horrifying.
Yeah, right?
The world is just IP now.
Yep. And it's all going to be in this game eventually. So, that's Fortnite.
Yeah, so it's a shooter. Originally, survival game. Now you can still play the survival game, but no one does.
You gotta pay for it. Okay, hold on. I really wanted to play the Save the World mode, but it's $17, and everyone's gonna be like, why aren't you playing the Battle Royale? It's better. So I didn't pick it up. But I was really thinking about it for a while. If I was gonna spend any money on this game, it was gonna be strategically, so I can get the Save the World thing and also enough of the V-Bucks to get the battle pass, and then I would just ride that until we finished, and then I eventually forgot about it. I was like, I don't think I need to play it that bad.
Way to go.
Which I dodged a bullet.
It's you and everyone who plays Fortnite. You eventually forgot about it and then moved on with your life.
Yes.
Yeah, so funny story. I actually have a cousin who went to college with someone who works at Epic, and for many years he would tell me when we would see each other, he'd be like, yeah, that Fortnite's going to be this very cool game. It's going to be almost like Left 4 Dead, but with crafting and this Minecraft thing. I think it's going to be a big deal. My friend, at Epic says it's coming along and it's going to be a big deal. And I was like, that game doesn't exist. It's a fake game. Your friend is lying to you. It's never coming out. It was announced, this game was in development hell or I shouldn't say hell because it's turned out well. It was in development for 10 years almost.
Mm-hmm.
So it just, hear about it. It would sometimes get like a little bit of information coming out of an E3 or like a big press conference that says, yeah, Fortnite's still coming, folks. And to see that it is indeed a big deal of a game, but almost everything that my cousin told me about does like exist in this weird side game that no one plays is just very funny. But instead, we played the regular free-to-play version, and just to give people a sense of how far in we got, what level did you end at?
I think 39.
39? Okay, I believe I was 38. Pete, what did you end at?
Less. Like a lot less. Let's be real here. I'm bad at Fortnite, apparently. So that's just something I have to live with for the rest of my life now. That's shame.
Did you get any victory royales with cheese?
Like, did I win any?
Yeah, did you win any?
My team won a few, but I would claim negative credit for that. Like, I actually harmed the effort.
I was a detriment to the process.
I was. I was almost a double agent.
Were you playing with randoms, or were you... okay.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Can't do that.
Yeah, so I feel like this is this game really tests, do you have anyone on your friends list who has Fortnite who wants to play with you? Because the experience playing solo or duo or quad, or they can handle teams of up to, I believe, 4 in the regular default mode. Though there are a bunch of custom modes, I did not dabble with any of the custom modes because they looked like anarchy. But if you're playing solo and you're by yourself, it's just a different game. It's like almost a survival horror game a little bit. Like you're just surrounded by gunshots and people trying to murder each other all the time. Especially if you play like I do, where I just like would find a dumpster and hide in the dumpster until all the gunshots stopped.
You could hide in there for as long as you want. It won't penalize you, and I don't think anyone can find you in there, like unless they destroy the dumpster. So you might as well just sit around.
Just destroying the dumpster all the time. It seemed like the dumpster occasionally shakes, but I don't know if it shakes if you're in, if you're in there or not, or if like other players can see the shaking. But yeah, if you hide in a dumpster or hide in a porta potty or something, people will just not see you or not try to kill you. So like solos is like that, but if you're going with duos or trios or whatever the foursomes is, and you're the only person who you know in that group, boy, you're going to have 3 people dropping all different parts of the map. 2 of them will be dead before you even know what's going on. It's just a completely different experience. And Pete, did you play on PC or any console? Like what controller were we talking about here?
I did PC.
Okay. I played on the PS5. And you were also PC?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my ability to aim and shoot was a bit compromised when compared to yours, but my ability to hide in dumpsters, from which I learned through hours of PUBG, still applicable. Still very powerful.
They have that in there in PUBG?
Well, the trick in PUBG was to find a bathtub, and then you would just climb onto the bathtub and then go prone, and you'd point at the door.
Uh-huh.
And
yeah, that makes sense.
The buildings are not destructible in PUBG, so if no one came... There was one game I played of PUBG where I found basically like a shed or an outhouse. It was just a single room with one door opening, and I just sat there with a shotgun pointing at the door, and I stacked up like 3 bodies in there of people who opened the door and just bow.
Surprise.
All of the good weapons came to me. But yeah, so Fortnite... It's a battle royale game. You're on a bus instead of a plane. You jump out and then immediately you see a banana man with some sort of like umbrella, Mary Poppins umbrella floating down, and then you've got a bunch of like generic characters with generic parachutes. And boy, it makes you think, what if I had the cool umbrella right off the gate? And then it's PUBG rules, there's guns all over the place, cached places. There's admittedly a lot more mechanics and density to this game than PUBG. And what would you
there's
say?
So many mechanics.
Or yeah, Pete, what was your favorite weirdo mechanic that you learned about when playing this game?
Oh God. So this is a new one in this chapter, and it sounds simple, but I actually really did like it, is you can slide now.
Yeah.
So you can just do sort of a knee slide and pick off a few shots. Or if you find a hill, you can just slide forever. And honestly, I think I had the most fun sliding in this game. If it had just been a sliding simulator, I think I would have been more on board.
Let's play.
There's probably a creative mode thing that you can do where it's just just slide.
True. I should have looked.
So you're saying you want to play Mirror's Edge again?
Basically.
Yeah, but a Mirror's Edge that's what it should have been instead of being bad. That's what I'd like to play.
You didn't like Mirror's Edge?
It's should have been a speedrunning platformer sort of deal, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Fortnite during our Fortnite podcast.
Okay.
I know.
Fortnite begs you to talk about everything but Fortnite.
It's true, it does. Let's talk about Ariana Grande. I think she's super cute.
Yeah, she's
in
that movie.
People
Don't
had
Look
that
Up.
Skin. Is she in that movie?
She is.
Don't Look Up. Yeah, she plays a real asshole too. But
Oh,
that's the idea.
I haven't watched that movie yet, but everyone's told me to watch it.
Pretty good. Check it
It's
out.
pretty good.
But
Anyway, Fortnite.
What weird mechanic did you notice and find strange?
My favorite mechanic was the at some points in the level you might come across a giant lizard that's stomping around.
Oh yeah, he's new too.
Yeah, he's a recent addition. I forget what they call him, but he's got a funny little name. He likes blueberries, they're like a raspberry looking thing.
They look
and then
like
you
blue
throw
raspberries.
Yeah, and then you throw it on the ground in front of him, and he sucks it up, and then sometimes he'll spit a gun out. That's better than what you can normally find.
Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. They are clombos.
Clombos. Yeah.
Clombos.
I knew it was a funny little name. Yeah, they're just a big buddy, and you can hang out with them. You can ride on them. They have a blowhole if you want to shoot yourself into the air. It was cute. It's definitely not something you'll find in similar your PUBGs or your Apexes. This game has a lot of those weird little things that are very visually impressive, but maybe not good for game balance kind of situations. If you are riding on that big lizard, people can't really shoot at you because if they hit him, he'll enrage and then he'll kill the fuck out of them. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be coming to Apex anytime soon, but I enjoyed that whenever, and it does a Jurassic Park theme song thing whenever you're getting close to it. Surprised there isn't a Jurassic Park skin in this game.
Don't give them. Well, look, the idea is already in the world. I shouldn't say don't give them the idea. Of course, that they already have the idea.
They're gonna hit everything. There's gonna be an Emily Dickinson skin at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Fortnite's just gonna run out of things.
360 no scope Emily Dickinson.
That would kind of slap though. I would probably spend $10.
How many V-Bucks would you pay for the Emily Dickinson skin?
People buy the weirdest skins. One of the ones that every time I saw someone with this skin, they were an absolute asshole. The glowing blue banana skin.
Fucking blue banana man.
It's ugly as hell, and every person who had it was the worst. They would be the ones who teabag you when they kill you. They
use the taunt dances.
Why would they dress like that?
Exactly. People pay actual money for anything if it looks a little different than the normal skin.
I feel like the people who would I feel like there's a big crossover between people who are really into Fortnite skins and people who are really into NFTs. Like two things with basically no value, and yet they're rare, so I must have them.
I'm sure if you can think of how Fortnite would get into NFTs, where you get a custom skin and it's on the blockchain, it'll keep an eye on it in the next year or two.
Stop saying it. Stop giving. That just
it's already out there.
Think about. Yep, makes me upset to think about, but it's almost certainly in the works. So my favorite weird mechanic was fishing.
Yeah.
Very strange one.
You can just find fishing rods, and I don't know if you can use the fishing rods for violence. I didn't try, but you could just go fishing, and sometimes you'll get common fishes that heal you. Sometimes you get fancy fishes that give you slightly faster movement speed temporarily, which having watched this game, I didn't realize the movement speed was always so dang slow. I assumed that people were just walking. They weren't using the run button or something, but no.
That's why sliding feels so much better, because it's just that little bit faster than your average walking speed, and it's what you should be walking at.
Yeah, and I get it. So the big differentiator, other than the general playful whimsy, this game doesn't give two fucks most of the time about being serious and being super competitive. There's a super competitive zone that you can opt into, which has, I think, lower rarity drops, generally speaking, so you have shittier guns most of the time. I don't know if they turn off some of the random nonsense that's happening too. You went into that hellscape. What was that like?
Yeah. So when I compare Fortnite to Apex, I like Fortnite a little bit better because usually in a Fortnite game, I'm able to kill people. If you go into the competitive, I think it's a full 100 people in the battle royale. They are very good. They will if you see someone and you start to shoot at them, they will start to just hammer on the building button, which was always the most annoying thing to have happen, because you take one shot and then all of a sudden there's a MC Escher maze between you and your target.
MC Escher skin. That'd be good.
Ooh, that'd be writing that one down too. We're gonna have some epic exec listening to this podcast taking notes. I did not like playing in the actual people competitive mode because I was very bad at it. It was like every Apex game I've ever played. If you play in the casual mode, it is much more ridiculous.
Yes.
And you can actually kill people because half the people are bots. So you feel very good about yourself.
Bots. Wait, why are there so many bots?
Well,
so I don't know
what's the impetus?
I don't know if they're bots. So apparently, the early games, there are some bots involved to ascertain your skill level, so that the pairing will pair you with appropriately skilled people. But also, you need to remember, this game is out on everything. It's out on your phone. It's out on all consoles. I bet you can get a toaster oven that probably has Fortnite running on it. There are some people who are playing on their phone, and this game will pair people across, I think, basically all platforms. I don't know that mobile is paired only against mobile, or Switch is paired only against Switch. So given those factoids, some folks are just playing with a handicapped version of the game to a certain extent. So they might just be bad at it. Also, this game has a disproportionate number of children who play it. So some people are just not gonna, be down to 360 no scope. Some people are not gonna just immediately just vomit out an entire castle to protect themselves the way that the best players do.
It's the worst. I hate those people.
And that is definitely the dividing line, the very harsh line between good at Fortnite and not good at Fortnite. The people who immediately vomit out walls and structures and use them intelligently, and the people who just run around with guns.
You know what? Honestly, you know what I thought about a lot while I was playing Fortnite is StarCraft.
Mm-hmm.
That like just the amount of like inputs per second you can put out is a massive advantage in both games, to the point that I just give up on both of them.
Yes. So you see,
Yeah.
I rationalized it to myself as saying I play with honor, and therefore I do not build. Whereas these scalawags running around with their castles and their walls and their ramps to nowhere, those people, they are the dishonorable ones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I thought back to my French anarchist readings and reminded myself, property is theft. So I did not build.
Property is theft, and so you thefted their property by breaking it down and stealing all of its materials.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that everything in this game is crafting items except the ground. So, like, if you take out your gun or you take out, a pick or something, you can harvest basically anything. If someone's hiding behind a wall, that is not permanent cover. You don't have to come around, go through the door. You can just blow up the wall, which once you start thinking about the game that way, it definitely opened up some opportunities for me. Like, at one point, I think I went up into an attic. Like, I punched a hole through a house's roof, went up into the attic, and then, like, stood in this section that previously was completely inaccessible and, like, knocked down the stairs behind me. And that was kind of fun. It didn't work out well for me, but it was fun to do. And I think that kind of goes to the central thing of Fortnite, the game part. We'll talk about the other weird parts in a second, but this game is a chat room to play with your friends at its best of times. If you're playing with friends, with people you like, in a group, you will have a good time, because you could play almost anything with a group of friends and probably have a good time. And that, I think, is where this game is at its best. It's free, the mechanics are solid, it's well designed, and there are worse ways you could spend time with your buddies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you are also in a call with people, you'll have a much more healthy chance of surviving.
Oh, yes.
Because if you are playing with randos who have no communication, you are going to just be all over the map. And if you are actually able to strategize, Gino and I played a few games, and we won many of those games. So it just puts you that much higher than anyone else who's in the general lobby.
Yeah.
So you'll probably win. You'll probably be very good at it if you can think a step ahead of your opponent.
Any steps ahead. Yeah, I would say
Yes.
that the big thing with Fortnite is, like, one, you'll have an advantage if we're on a call, but also the game, when you're playing with friends, is just a story generation engine. Like, once we accepted that we weren't trying to, we're serious gamers. We're trying to get victory royales every time. Once we started just messing around with it, I just had a lot more fun. Like, at one point we saw a tornado on the map, and we're like, what's up with that? Let's just go up to that tornado. And we got sucked up into the sky and thrown across the map. And then you were fiddling around too much, and so you died.
Yes.
You were in a car, I think, instead of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, as far as mechanics go, the cars in this game are some of the funniest story generation tools, because you could just be speeding around the map, running over like chickens that are in the road, and if anyone gets in your way, you can also hit them and shoot them up into the air. And it was very entertaining for the games that we just decided to fuck around with them.
Yeah, I mean, one time we got on a boat that had rockets attached to it. It could shoot rockets, and it was rocket propelled. And we realized that if you hit the boost button, the boat could get on land and could function on land.
Yeah.
But it was not very good.
We took that boat as far as it could go until it ran out of gas.
And then we tried to find a place to gas it up, and we couldn't get it gassed up. Pete, did you gas up a car in this game?
No. I mean, I drove a few, but I didn't know you could gas them up.
Oh, you can.
Yep.
Why don't you describe how you gas a car up?
So you can go to the gas stations that are around the map, and then you get out of your car, you take the little gas pump off the thing, and then you just like hold it out, and it'll just throw gasoline all over the car, and then a gauge will increase. So if you wanted to, you could just like stand there filling up your gas tank and then explode the thing once it's done. Because, of course, everything's going to explode because it's a gas pump, which was amusing.
You can basically, to gas up your cars, you're basically reproducing the Zoolander tragic gasoline fight accident.
Yes.
And that is the way that you gas up the car. I thought for a second, oh, the animation's glitching or something, and you're like, no, the gauge is filling.
That's just how it works.
And that's how the game's attitude is for most things. Like, how do you get shields? Well, shields are some sort of blue goo that you down, or you throw on the ground and it splashes on you.
You gotta say the words. We learned all those terminologies.
You say it. You can't make me.
So there is the chug splash, which you splash on the ground.
No.
There is.
No, I hate all of these so much.
No, you don't like these?
Keep going, Em. The people need to hear this.
Let's see. What's the?
Is it the chug keg or the?
There's the chug keg. What else? No, I think it's just called
Guzzle
a shield
juice?
keg. Guzzle juice. That's the one. Guzzle juice is what gets your health back. Are there any other good ones?
None of them
I think
are good.
that none of them are good, but they're like, it's pretty good.
It's very internet. Like, this game is incredibly internet.
Yeah.
You shoot there are kegs lying around sometimes. You shoot them and they explode and they give you shields. There's mushrooms growing in the ground. You can forage them and they give you shields. You can shoot a boar and it turns into like 2 legs of boar and it's a healing item. Sometimes there's birds that fly by and they've got a purplish glow to them, and if you kill them, you get a purple gun out of them. Like, it's just, everything is the most internet it could be at all times. Speaking of the most internet it can be at all times, do we have anything else to discuss about the game before we turn to the extracurricular stuff that they've built into this thing?
Should we talk about the dances
Spider-Man?
now or later?
Oh, there's also a Spider-Man tie-in. That was
Yes.
So to carbon date when we played this, Spider-Man and the Daily Bugle was the promotion.
Yeah. We
At the
actually
time?
played. We're playing at the start of Chapter 3, Part 1.
Yes.
So now you know where we were at. Spider-Man and the Daily Bugle were on the map. Also, I want to talk about the map. Like, they have a weird way of replacing parts of the map.
It's a jigsaw puzzle, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a seasonal thing where they trade out places. So while we were playing, what was it? Something Towers. Tilted Towers. Tilted Towers came back, which people were hyped about because they were always there and they were always killing each other in it. So Tomato Town was not there, and we were very disappointed about that because, everyone loves that song.
I still haven't heard that song, and God willing, I'll go until I die not hearing that song.
Oh no, we gotta fix this.
Nope.
We gotta no. Wait, we'll probably get DMCA'd because we're streaming this.
I protected myself.
But we've given them so many good ideas.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they'll let one pass.
Nope, don't.
Speaking of DMCA'd, there's a radio in the cars.
There is.
So it's playing actual music from actual artists. You can, if you're streaming that, you could get in trouble. So that's fun.
Yeah, there's a turn off all licensed music button that you have to hit
Oh
if
my
you're
God,
streaming.
of course there is.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I didn't
Ariana
know
Grande's in the
about that.
game. How do you not have some sweet licensed music?
This is
Yeah.
all Travis Scott's fault.
This is This is all Travis Scott's fault. This is the second worst thing he's done.
Oof. Anyway,
I mean, this game just, boy, there's tons of brands. You got the web shooters, darn it. The amount of manpower, just sheer human effort that they apply to stealing mechanics from other, sorry, I shouldn't say stealing, borrowing, being inspired by mechanics from other games and implementing new features is staggering. Like, they have the web shooters, which basically feel like the grapple hook from, like, the newest Bionic Commando game, the 3D Bionic Commando game.
But without the pathos, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact, Spider-Man's web shooters, every single one of those contains the soul of a kitten. That's what powers it.
So there you go.
And if you're wondering which kitten, it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's got the web shooters. It's got the sliding mechanic from Apex. It's got, I think, reviving is a newish one.
Yeah. Apparently the reboot vans that are in there are from Valorant, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They are an innovation because PUBG did not have this. If a team member dies, you can go get a chip from their body and then find a van that will bring them back to life.
Mm-hmm. This also seems to be borrowed, inspired by Apex. Apex has like a little respawn station, and then you get dropped back in, which is basically the same thing that they do in this. So it's inspiration. Did you also check out the imposters mode?
No, but I just want to say the fact that it takes all of these things, it's very Facebook in its operations. It just merely goes out and assimilates any and all threats that it perceives. It either buys or rips off any idea instead of ever competing. Like Valorant has a good idea. Well, that good idea is in Fortnite now. Apex comes along, has a good idea. Well, now it's in Fortnite. And then also we're going to beat you to death with brands. So we're not going to compete in that direction either.
Mm-hmm. It's like they read the innovator's dilemma and like disregarded most of the lessons of it and just steal things.
Yeah, so you were saying, Em?
Yes, the imposters mode. Are you familiar with Among Us?
I am.
Right.
Yep. They took a lesson from Among Us and they put in literally the exact same thing. So if you liked being a little guy in Among Us, now you can just be your Fortnite skin running around a space station.
It's really a space station?
Yeah, well...
Yeah, they didn't even try, did they?
It's kind of like a secret agent base. It's implied that there's some, like... I don't know. There's lore to Fortnite. I wasn't clear on it. But
there's lore to Fortnite?
There is. Did you not find any of the audio logs?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to any if I did.
There are audio logs in this game.
When you first start up the game, did you watch the cutscene that plays where they're like sitting on a deserted island? They're like, "We gotta get out of here." That was like
Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Lore? Like
that was part of the lore.
We need to get off this island.
Apparently, in the Fortnite lore, they have realized that they're in like a computer simulation where they're being forced to replay this same loop over and over again. And they're like, we gotta break out of this cycle. We need The Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he's the key.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I feel like Fortnite took a lot of the things that like annoy me the most about our present economic and social situation and just put them together.
Yeah.
Well,
they were like, maybe people want to play a game about this uncritically.
I mean, it's amazing to me that the LeBron James from Space Jam 2 is in this, because Space Jam 2, if anything, is about being trapped in a brand hellscape and wanting desperately to escape.
Yep.
That's the whole plot of the movie. Yeah, so this game has that. M, you did not cave into your need to purchase one
I
of the
wanted to
skins,
so
right?
bad. I wanted
So-
to so bad.
We should discuss the insidiousness. What gave you the bug?
Okay, so during our playtime, I was like perfectly fine not buying a skin, and then they came out with, in sequence, the Hawkeyes, which I was a big fan of in the comics. Speaking of course, Hawkeye from Marvel, and also Kate Bishop, his like sidekick, also Hawkeye. And I was like, fuck, I really want to play as Kate Bishop. And then literally like 2 days later, they also came out with Vi from Arcane. And I don't give a fuck about League of Legends or Arcane, but I had just like watched a couple of episodes of that, and I was like, oh god, pink-haired lesbian who punches shit. Fuck. They know I'm playing. They got my number. I was very strongly considering putting down like what, $15 just so I could get that. But then I decided to instead play a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh instead. So that broke my Fortnite addiction before it got started.
Good. That was good. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
I mean, this game, it gives you... It's incredible to me. Well, I mean, it's not that incredible. The trick that they pull by giving you default skins but not letting you ever pick what default skin you want is insidious. So if you're playing truly free, you do not have any skins, they just randomize you between like 5 or 6 random neutral characters wearing neutral outfits. So you can wear other cosmetics, which you can get fairly easily just by playing the game. Like they'll give you some cosmetics for free, but the skins all seem to come from spending V-Bucks. Now you can earn some by playing a bunch, but you need to hoard quite a bit of V-Bucks. It seems like a season pass or two to buy the cheap skins.
Yeah, you want to talk about the Battle Pass real quick?
Sure.
While we're on this subject.
The Battle Pass is $10. It's a Battle Pass system, so the more you play, the more rewards you get. So if you buy the Battle Pass and play all the way to the top tier, you will, in theory, it's like they're paying you because you're getting more V-Bucks than what you would have gotten if you had just bought V-Bucks. But you need to play for like 50 hours to get all of those, and that's just too much.
It's in like a tier system where if you are not paying any money, you are just doing the standard like free whatever, you can only pick like 3 things for each tier, and then there's like 6 other options that are on the screen whenever you're picking your like garbage choices. And it's like, oh, if you pay right now, you'll be able to get this character you've never heard of. Or if you get all the way to the bottom, that's where the Spider-Man is. So if you come across a Spider-Man in the lobby, you know that they're like a Fortnite head. If you come across a like gold Spider-Man, you're gonna fucking die. You're gonna... Not only did they get to the end of the Battle Pass, they got it to the end of the extra Battle Pass.
It's literally Spider-Man. Like, that's the only way.
They probably start with the web slingers. Like,
they deserve it. They've earned it.
Yeah. You just get that once you get to that level. So, if you are completely free, you'll get a little something. But if you're...
They'll let you wet your beak, but...
Yeah.
If you want the real shit.
It's part of the scam.
The first taste is free.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I have to say also, you get the Battle Pass, but you need to spend battle bucks or whatever to unlock the things on the Battle Pass. So they give you hundreds of stars, like this currency, that you can't spend unless you buy the Battle Pass. So you're just like drowning in this currency, and it's like, well, what do I spend it on? Well, what if you bought the Battle Pass? Then you could spend all your stars. And you could have DJ Fiesta or whatever, knockoff. It's amazing also how many of the characters who are like quote-unquote original Fortnite characters are just like rip-offs of other things that they couldn't get the license for.
Mm-hmm. The one for our season was, what was her name? She's basically a rip-off of an Overwatch character.
Yes.
Who I also can't remember the name of.
The Shield Lady. The Shield
The
Lady.
Shield
with the
Lady.
turrets. Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks
Yeah,
just
you
like
know
her,
the
and I was
one.
like, is this character from Overwatch, Fortnite, or Marvel's The Eternals? It could be
Yeah.
from any of these. I haven't seen these properties. It looks like it could be a cartoony version of any of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like the WoW aesthetic, where like everything becomes the same at a certain
Yeah.
point.
Unless it's like Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. For
Mhm.
some reason, they kept him exactly the fucking same.
Yeah, Naruto's cell shaded. Like a bunch of those
Yeah.
characters are cell shaded, and other ones are not cell shaded, so they stand out like sore thumbs.
Mm-hmm.
But this game doesn't care at all. Why should anything look normal?
Why should anything be anything?
Yeah.
I think this is the part that annoys me the most about Fortnite, amongst anything, is like it just feels like the apotheosis of the like everything is renting now,
Mm-hmm.
or like everything is memberships. Like you don't own anything. You just sort of like pay these monthly fees because they found out that was like a more consistent revenue model. And I think Fortnite is just the apotheosis of it. Like, yeah, like you can do some free stuff, but if you want to participate, you just need to continually outlay more and more money for these new marginally changed features. It's like planned obsolescence. Like it used to be car models, now it's Fortnite skins.
Yes. And like you said, like even the level kind of functions on Settlers of Catan rules. You know, there are
Yeah.
hexes, and they replaces the hexes every once in a while. So the game is constantly changing, but the content is not actually that different.
Yeah. Literally every day that we played, there was something new to the game.
With a fucking
added
like
pizza.
10 MB download every time too.
Yeah, exactly. Like they added pizza at one point, which was like a big, oh, it's a pizza party.
Guess what it did
Which-
whenever you picked up the
Yeah.
pizza? Pete, guess what it did?
It played a dumb song. I know that.
Yeah. It played
Yep,
the
okay, yeah. Like picture Italian stereotype. What's the soundtrack you're hearing? It's this.
It's this.
Exactly.
It's like either this or That's Amore. Like those are your only choices.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome if it was That's Amore.
We were in call and we were like, is this racist to Italians?
And I was like,
You're
yeah,
like,
but this
yeah,
game's
but-
trash to begin with, so who cares, I guess. It's like, speaking of things that may or may not be racist, so Fortnite, when we were playing, it was near Martin Luther King Day.
Oh yeah. Okay. Did you do this event, Pete?
I did not know. I'm already hoping that there's something for Lunar New Year on Tuesday though.
Oh, I gotta log back in just to see.
Yeah.
This has been going on for over a year, by the way. They have a Martin Luther King exhibit, basically, in Fortnite, where you can go to Washington, D.C., and for 20 minutes it will play the speech that he gave on the Lincoln Memorial, and you run around and you do like little mini games with the other people who are in the lobby.
I'm glad you said with the other people in the lobby. I thought you were going to say with Martin Luther King.
Oh no.
So there's a
Thank-
silver lining to this.
Yeah, thank God they didn't put
They
a
showed
Martin
some
Luther
restraint.
King skin in this game.
God.
You can tell they really would have if they could have convinced his family. But they didn't. They just had to settle for like make a, maze and title it something like the Maze of Justice or some shit.
Like the long arc of history. It's
Yeah.
just this maze you have to get through.
Pretty much. Like,
I mean,
yes.
Did they stop you from going in there with the Rick Sanchez skin?
They did not stop you from coming in with skins. They did stop you from, I believe, emotes.
Okay, they stopped you from dancing.
They stopped you from doing certain emotes, like maybe the tomato throwing emote, because I believe people were throwing it at the screen.
Of course they were. People are terrible.
People suck so fucking bad. So they limited what you can do inside of that. But you were not limited to like the weird skins you could use. You could fuck around in there and not do all the little trials. Some of them require more than like another person. Some of them require 4 people to do, by the way.
Oh, good.
What the fuck?
This is one of the most glaring moments when you like think about how many people chose to just ignore all the anti-capitalist parts of MLK's messages, you know, about how he turned to workers' rights and the workers' collective. Not conveniently, super inconveniently, but coincidentally, right before he was assassinated.
Yeah, right.
Oh boy. And do you mean to tell me, Pete, that Naruto and Tom Holland's Spider-Man and who else? DJ Khaled, is he in there? Probably not.
No.
Major Lazer? No.
Major Lazer is.
Major
Lazer is.
Okay.
LeBron.
There's presently 1,270 skins.
Yes,
as of
there's
2022.
so many.
So it's
Damn
everybody.
Okay, the gang's all here. Holding hands in front of the MLK speech, viewing it in its most authentic way.
I'm surprised Fortnite hasn't cured racism yet, if I'm being honest. It's just because their player base isn't large enough.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
They just don't have the reach, which is why we are trying to help them,
We're signal amplifiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the other thing that I feel is worth mentioning, like there were 2 things going on event-wise when we were playing. There was this, and then there was also a V-concert, Tones and I, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with their songs.
That's the name of the band?
That's the name of the band.
Yes.
They did Dance Monkey.
Oh, I know that song at least, yeah.
Yes. So they had an E-concert for their new album, or her new album. I don't know if it's the name of the band or the singer. But it's called, I think, Welcome to the Madhouse. Mm-hmm. And I experienced this. Em, did you do the concert?
I did. Yeah. I figured I should experience this because they're like trying to do this weird metaverse kind of. Yeah.
Another super annoying thing that they've shoehorned into their game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the thing, I want to be more cynical about the concert, but it was kind of cool.
It was kind of cool. Like you're running around collecting little music notes, and then sometimes the music gets all loud, and then you start flying in the air to match the song.
Like one of the songs is about like being in emotional turmoil, and then when the chorus hits, you start flying, and then a tornado comes, and you start flying through the air.
Yeah,
there's a section where it was Kingdom Hearts for a bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, I'm on board all of a sudden. Is there a Sora skin that I can buy?
No.
God, there would be if they could.
Okay, here's my question. I didn't participate in this concert.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any like performance element to it? Like, is the music
this one
live in a sense?
There's like a screen that's playing, like a video of the band as they are performing.
Yes.
And then in certain parts you can like throw like water balloons basically, and then wherever that hits there's a splat, and then that will also play the video, which was a little neat.
So it was basically the band on a green screen on some walls. But the performance level and the type of performance varies from concert event to concert event. Like this one was very much, there's a band playing on a green screen. like Travis Scott's event, there was a giant digital Travis Scott flying through the sky, and you were like floating around Travis Scott.
But follow-up question. Could I, like this podcast ends, I, spend my typical 2 hours reflecting on what just happened. After that, could I go in and experience this concert again tonight?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just like a one-time deal.
It's on loop. Yeah. Basically, they have a lobby. Once you join the lobby, it says, okay, the concert starts in blah, blah, blah. And then, after X amount of time, you get loaded into an instance, basically. And then it dumps you out into the lobby again after it's over.
Final question.
Yes.
Is there any reason to call this a concert as opposed to a level beyond just marketing?
I would say that it's like there's no fighting or anything in it. You're platforming around to the music, and the game will like shovel you to the next like emotional hit that they want to do. It's not like if you're lagging around or you're jumping off a wall instead of experiencing the event as it's intended, the game will eventually get the hook and slide you along to where you're supposed to be.
It's kind of a choreographed experience, I would say. Like
it's more of a haunted house.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems to me like they refer to it as a concert to imply a certain level of liveness in this whole metaverse idea that isn't necessarily there.
Yeah, I always assumed that when like Ariana Grande or Travis Scott did their concerts, it was like a one night thing, but it seems like they just like set it up for a couple of weeks and then let it run, and if you want to see it, you just drop in there, Yeah.
It's like, if you pay for a haunted house, everyone gets the same haunted house experience, but it's live for them in the moment.
Yeah.
So who are you to say that that version is not, the authentic version?
That's Gino. That was a good analogy. That was fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't like that you were right because I wanted to be snide about it, but I see your point.
Yeah. So like I thought it was cool. Like one of the songs was like I think it's let me look up the album because I do like Tones and I's music.
I was not familiar with them until I actually dropped in there. I was like,
oh, I know this song.
Okay. Yeah.
So their new album, Welcome to the Madhouse. Let's go to the album. It's Just a Mess, I think was the name of it.
Oh yeah.
So it was either Just a Mess or Fall Apart. One of those two songs played, and you start in like this house, and every time, like over the course of the song, you're kind of navigating around the house. You're kind of locked in. It's a closed room. It's pretty small and claustrophobic. But the chorus would hit, and like the lights would fade out, and when they'd fade back in, the house would become cracked. Like it starts splitting open at the sides. Till the point when this song is kind of crescendoing at the end, the house is completely blown up, and it's got a bunch of psychedelic stuff kind of happening outside of it. So they put a remarkable amount of effort into the artistry of this thing that at the time I was very dismissive of. I was impressed. I feel like the artist was not just being used by the game. It seemed like they did a real amount of work to do this. So I will say, like, the green screen performance was probably the least polished part of the whole thing. Just because, it's just a band on a green screen, whereas the game is, like, doing all of these mechanical elements that are drawing your attention. So I think if you're going to do this and you have the means, do the Travis Scott psychedelic thing instead of this. And apparently this might be what Harmonix is up to now that they've been purchased by Epic.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's what's going on in this game. Like, it's got all these other modes. It's got custom modes. There's the Fortnite Saves the World that we didn't play, but I assume still exists for some reason. It's got a creator studio too, so you can make your own custom game modes. But if you're gonna play Fortnite, it's like PUBG and all these other battle royale games. Just whichever one your friends have, that's the one you play.
Yeah. If you're playing with like your cousin, then and they're like 12 years old, they're probably going to be playing this one. I don't think anyone's playing PUBG anymore. Although, don't quote me on that.
It'd be very funny if PUBG was a survival game now.
Yeah.
Your point about your 12-year-old cousin raises a question I had a lot during Fortnite.
Yes.
Especially when I saw the names of the items were like guzzle chuggers or flip flammers or whatever the state may be. I don't necessarily understand who Fortnite is for.
Yeah,
I feel like it's designed to, like many free-to-play like Candy Crush or whatever, Fruit Ninja, I feel like it's designed to bilk money out of children.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that like everything's lined up with that mission.
I think it is children, right?
Yeah. I mean, they definitely found a market, which is children. I feel like it's almost nefariously geared towards children at this point, because
right,
like the brightly colored aesthetic, they're really leaning into it. If it wasn't their original angle, because originally this was like, a cartoon zombie game, which was for a little bit of an older audience than what they're marketing to now, which seems to be like, 12 to 15, I would say, half our age, basically.
Yeah, and I would say like this game the chug splash and the energy drinks, but maybe it's a keg, so maybe it's beer.
Mm-hmm.
That whole I guess that thin line that they're walking, they're trying to kind of appeal to someone who's not old enough to have a keg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or old enough to buy a 6-pack of beer, so they put the E 6-packs and the E kegs in the game. It's like, have you ever had the chocolate or the candy cigarettes that they would sell at candy stores?
Big League Chew. That's the one I was
Big League Chew. Yeah, it's all that. You're appealing to kids who are looking up to parents or looking up to adults, and you're giving them a kidified version of an adult thing.
It almost seems as though they're angling towards like the streamer audience. Like
yes,
if you
100%.
if you are a fan of like I don't fucking know the
Yogurt Boy 7.
Ninja, I guess. Ninja has a skin, by the way.
Yeah, and reportedly makes $500,000 a month.
Yes.
Streaming this stuff. I looked it up and it made me sad.
I fucking wish I could get in on that market. But if you're like, I don't know who watches these streamers besides children. So they're like really in a niche right now, of like, do we want to sell to 12-year-olds? Yeah, well, they're making plenty of money doing it. So
I frankly thought it was pretty weird when the game's loading, it says, here are some tips to finding mommy's credit card.
Yeah.
That explains too why they need this like constant IP churn.
Yeah.
Because if your demographic is constantly aging into your game, you need to have whatever they're interested in that moment.
Yep.
So like maybe they won't do the MC Escher or the Emily Dickinson skin.
Well, Haley Steinfeld's in an Emily Dickinson show right now, and
that's true.
Get it?
She's very hot right now. She is both Vi and Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, fascism seems to be on the rise again. They could do Ezra Pound if they wanted a Nazi sympathizing poet.
Oof.
Yikes.
I kind of now want to be able to have Haley Steinfeld fighting Haley Steinfeld fighting Haley Steinfeld. Just all the different versions of her.
Yeah, we could probably get that going.
Just different IPs. Is her character from Bumblebee in this? Probably not.
I don't
Her
know.
character from
Bumblebee
True
is
Grit.
big enough.
No.
Oh, she's the person in True Grit.
She's the girl in True Grit, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's prolific.
Yeah, there's no there will never be a John Wayne skin. Like that's just never going to happen.
There is a John Wick though. There's
Of
also
course there is.
there's a John Wick, and there's also like before they got the IP, they made a spin-off version of him.
Like suited assassin of some sort.
Pretty much, yeah. He looks.
Wan Chick.
No, let's see. John Wick skin Fortnite.
1,270. It's insane.
Hmm.
It is amazing how many of the characters that are quote-unquote originals are just so hastily and so clearly ripped off.
Yep. Yeah, apparently Keanu Reeves got called Fortnite guy so much he decided to make an official John Wick skin because there is a guy who looks exactly like him.
Thank goodness Keanu's getting paid at least.
Yeah.
What do you
Finally.
think? So there seems to me that there are two ways to do this economic model.
Mhm.
Is there's like the Fortnite one where like, look, we're just going to like slam a whole bunch of like IP in here. So like you can play the game, but any sort of customization will need like more. And then
Mhm.
there's like the Genshin Impact version where like, look, we're just going to gate this pretty hard. So like at a certain
Mhm.
point, if you want anything to take less than like 3 weeks, you need to pay for it. And you also
Yeah.
have the randomization of Genshin Impact, which I don't think you have in Fortnite.
No,
there?
you purchase.
No.
Things
Yeah,
go
so
on
it's-
sale, but it's not the same as, Blind
Yeah.
Pact.
Of all the things that Fortnite does not do, there are no loot boxes, which I found surprising because
Yeah.
I figured that would be the most nefarious thing that they are up to.
Amazingly, they're above it. One thing they're above.
Yeah.
Something. We'll do an MLK event, but no loot boxes.
I think they might have gotten sued. No, it's never contained randomized loot boxes.
It
Save
just
the
seems-
World did, but
Yeah.
then they changed it.
Like I feel like loot boxes have become, thanks to BF Skinner, the dominant economic model.
Shoutouts.
I feel like it's become the dominant economic model in gaming. And like not to like suggest Fortnite's model is better, but it does present a viable alternative.
Man,
Yes.
a BF Skinner skin would slap.
It's just him with a little mouse in his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you're talking about Pete, like having the Skinner box versus this,
Mhm.
you have to understand the scope at which Epic is operating. They can just churn out skins. They have, I'm sure, dozens, if not hundreds of people.
Oh, yeah.
Who are like, if you include the licensing team, there have got to be hundreds of people who are dedicated to keeping the hose a-flowing at all
I
times.
mean, I have to imagine licensing is the bulk of their budget.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
implementation, and then you have the knockoff
Yeah.
team who's making the Men's Warehouse version of John Wick. And because all of those things are happening constantly, they can let you be picky because everything is planned obsolescence. It's Zara's model. Zara's or Forever 21, like those sorts
Fast
of
fashion.
fast fashion models. Like that makes a ton of sense for this, but the scope at which they do this is just so huge. Whereas Genshin Impact needs to make like 10 characters, and they know that if everyone wants the 10 characters and the 2 chase characters that they made of the 10, because 8 of them are garbage, they're going to need to spend an order of magnitude more money than a Fortnite person would have to get what they want. So it's really like, are you fast fashioning it and burning just tons of human hours recreating John Holland's beautiful face until John Holland is old and gray, and now it's, I don't know, Jojo Siwa's beautiful face? Who's next? Who's next?
Yeah,
I don't know who the next
think
person
they're-
is.
I don't
They're
know.
too far past us now.
Yeah.
Yes. You're doing that, or you can make like a much smaller design investment and scoping investment, and just rake people of all of their money. Just take everything. And you can get the gambling addiction involved. You can just play on all of the weakest things about us as a species. Every small little feeling, you could just take advantage of that. And at least Fortnite doesn't do that. And to that, a little
Good job.
To that.
yes. R.I.P. to Meatloaf. Do anything for love, but I won't do that. All right,
Meatloaf
well,
skin also. Look it up.
Ugh.
I mean, how many 12-year-olds know who Meatloaf is, though?
I don't think they do.
They love
Probably not.
Emily Dickinson, though.
Huge Emily Dickinson crossover event coming. Oh man,
You heard it here
Look,
first.
It's free. It's free. Open in the public domain. Emily Dickinson is public domain now. George
it?
Washington's right there.
Yes.
I mean, I assume that if a person's been dead for long enough, you can put them in your game.
It's 72 years, I think, something like that. She's outside it.
Put Imhotep in there, you cowards.
They would.
I guess he is. The mummy's in there. Damn it.
Oh yeah, they got the mummy. Well, that's the mummy from Frankenstein, vampire.
Oh, okay.
The
It's not
Mummy.
from. It's
It's
from
not-
Brendan Fraser's The Mummy.
No, but that would be good.
That wasn't. Oh yeah, that was Imhotep. Well,
Yeah.
no, that wasn't. Was it?
That was.
Yeah,
that
well-
was he was
Yeah, it
the
was
main
Imhotep.
villain
Right. I was
Yeah.
thinking Scorpion
in the first
King.
one.
Yes,
Scorpion
that was
King
also
is
the
a
Rock.
different.
Yes.
We're
They
gonna
could
have-
probably have the Rock against the Rock against the Rock pretty soon.
Yeah, can we have a team of 4 Haley Steinfelds versus a team of 4 The Rocks?
Yeah.
What is? I mean, the new rock skin is the foundation.
Yes.
What is the foundation?
In the lore,
Is that like a
Uh,
Fortnite character, or is it an existing IP?
it seems as though. All right, we're gonna test what I
God.
learned.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
I'm already sorry I opened up this Pandora's box.
It seems as though there is some spy network thing, which the blonde man Jonesy is part of, and the Rock, the Foundation, is part of that, and they're investigating what this weird loop thing is that they're all trapped in.
Okay.
From what I gathered, don't quote me on that. If there are 12-year-olds listening, don't put it in the comments. I don't care.
Also, subscribe, like and subscribe. Get
Oh,
mommy's
yeah,
credit
like it-
card.
I can subscribe. All that Fortnite V-Bucks you've gained, send it to me so I can get Vive from Arcane.
They do actually have a V-Buck scam warning.
Yeah.
Like public service announcement as a loading screen, which is very funny. It's a
Oh, you
nightmare
can-
to look at.
You can transfer V-Bucks?
I don't know what it was. I was like, I guess something bad is going on here.
Mhm.
Something untoward at the very least.
I know you can buy gift cards.
Yes, you can. You can go into any supermarket or CVS and get a Fortnite gift card, which, if you're making a game like this, that's the best way to advertise.
Smart.
It's
I
so
also-
smart.
I don't want to get into it because it's equally as exhausting. But I feel like we should mention that Fortnite has a whole feud with Apple going on.
Oh yeah.
They do.
Oh
That's
man.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
Apple wants their so Fortnite did not want to cut Apple in on their money, basically. And so Fortnite was like, fine, we just won't be on the Apple Store. How's about
Yeah.
we're just not on the Apple Store then?
They did at the time when this was going down, there was this skin event thing they did where they took that 1984 advertisement from
Where they
when-
throw the apple through the TV.
Yeah, exactly. They did a version of that. Oh, it was kind of tone deaf, honestly. But everyone was like, "Oh, the skin's really cool." They had a hashtag free Fortnite, as
Yeah,
if
as
they're
if Fortnite
actually
needs to
in
be the
trouble.
underdog. Yeah.
Yeah.
They made $5 billion in revenue in 2020. Like, I think they're okay.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a real, like, whoever wins, we all lose. It's an Alien versus Predator situation.
Very much.
Also both in the game.
Oh, fuck.
Keep making references. I'll keep lining them up.
All right, well, I think that we've talked enough about Fortnite. I don't want to talk about it anymore. This is game.
Unfortunate.
Yes.
I'm picking Fortnite again next time.
Damn it.
Show of
Season
hands,
2.
who will continue playing it?
No,
'Cause
I'm
I'm out.
uninstalling it.
I'm a firm no.
I don't know. Maybe if I get salty with Apex, I'll go over to Fortnite for a few games. I'm not going to spend any money on it, and I'm never going to know what the Save the World campaign is like, but I think I'm fine with that.
I mean, I wouldn't say never when you were almost tempted into spending money just because one pink-haired lesbian showed up.
Yeah, if they, it was close, but it wasn't exactly what I needed to spend money on this game.
I
So
bet.
the exec who's listening, you got another chance. Make it a good one.
I'm going to make a prediction now.
Yes.
And this might already exist. I don't know that much about Fortnite. But I bet at some point there will be an option to create your own single custom, like, personal skin for the very rich player. That, like, I can make a P plus skin.
Yeah, exactly. And then they put it on the blockchain, and then you have an NFT.
And all of it's coming together.
It all comes back
Put
around.
it in the metaverse. It'll be excellent.
Yep.
Hate it. Stop talking. All right. So that's it for Fortnite. We're not going to talk about it anymore. Sorry to all of our new Fortnite listeners who thought this was a Fortnite exclusive podcast. It's now my turn to pick, once again, what game we're going to play. And I've had a game on my list of games to play for quite some time for this show because it's bonkers. And I've finally decided it's time to bite the bullet. It's time to play Eternal Sonata.
What?
Are you familiar with Eternal Sonata?
Give us a 2-sentence description, Gino. No semicolons.
Okay, it's a Japanese role-playing game set in the dying mind of Chopin.
What?
Oh, yeah, sure. I can picture that in my head. I know exactly what that's going to be like.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, what?
Explain it again with more sentences.
Add some semicolons.
Add another sentence or two.
It's a Japanese role-playing game.
Yeah.
That came out for the Xbox 360 first, and then the PlayStation 3.
The systems were not the questions we had.
It is set in the dying mind of esteemed composer Chopin.
So as he's dying of tuberculosis at age 39, he is envisioning this
anime
JRPG.
Is that an accurate Chopin biology?
Yes,
it's on the Wikipedia page for this game.
He was too dying. He was too dying to tell everyone about the anime girls he saw in his dying visions, but this is what was going on as his synapses stopped firing.
The game's battle system centers on musical elements and character-unique special attacks. Light and darkness play a part in the appearance and abilities of enemies on the battlefield, as well as the types of magic that can be cast.
So yeah, there are multiple ways to play this game. Like I said, 360 and PS3. There are subtle differences between the two games. That there's a different, and I was told that the PS3 ending has a quote unquote, the PS3 version has a quote unquote more coherent ending.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you want that or not. I'm gonna be getting the PS3 version. Pete, I think you have to get the 360 because that's what you have.
360, yeah.
Okay, so we'll be able to compare and contrast. And apparently they also rebalanced the game. between PS3 and 360. Apparently the 360 version might be slightly easier.
That's good.
But there are extra characters in PS3 version and skins. Em, I leave it up to you. I don't know what you could play this on.
I think I would have to play it on the 360.
I think you can get it on the Xbox One or, any of the Xboxes that are backwards compatible.
So I decided to look up whether Chopin is popular in Japan or not.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if these answers are racist or not, so I'm just gonna let it go.
Okay.
Yeah, so next time this has been on my short list of games to pick for as long as this show's been going, and I'm excited to finally get around to Eternal Sonata. We actually had a small feud with the Off the Deep End crew because they wanted this piece of garbage.
Too bad.
I feel like they should have it.
Let's give them Fortnite.
Yeah, they could play Fortnite.
I'll just make them play Legend of Legaia.
Jeff ZP, if you're listening, I'll play Fortnite with you.
And it's just like, anyone on my team now. I gotta earn the V-Bucks.
I only have to play for 800 more hours to get a battle pass.
Yep.
I don't pay for it.
Well, thank you, Pete.
Yep, I at least filled in a glaring hole in my pop culture knowledge.
Thank you, Em.
Thank you, and I'm sorry. But I'm not actually sorry, because fuck you guys.
13 more weeks of this.
And thank you to our listeners. Reminder, you can get in touch with the show at DeepListensPod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections, and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. You can also support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. Till next time, peace.